Welcome to Stop Doing Nothing. Welcome to Patrick Almond. We go live a Wednesday-ish for those of you who are regular watchers. It's been a little bit, been pretty busy here, and unfortunately have not made this show a priority. But recently, I've been getting some crazy engagement, some crazy Q&A. My DMs are filling up with AI talk. So, yep, we're talking Claude today. I know AI is bombarding you everywhere. I will promise to keep this high level. But my goal is I go through Claude or the other LLMs and learn this journey and learn how to be more productive with this. I share this information with you. And it's evident by the groups I'm posting in, and it's evident by what's going on social media that this is a very popular topic. And it's a complicated topic because, again, we're in this situation where we have super nerds doing really cool things. And then and the super nerds are the 5% of the world. And then we have the average Joes. The average Joes are, so it's the global gyms, the ones doing the really cool things. And then the average Joes, 95% of people who have no idea even where to begin with AI. They are afraid of AI. They hear AI, and all they think of are those freaking robots walking over the skulls in the Terminator movie. So hopefully your coffee's hot. But as always, I like to make sure that people are educated about these things without overcomplicating them. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be talking to you about why I got into Claude, because if you think about me, I've typically been a Google Gemini person, all things Google, and that's recently switched up the more I learn. And that's what we do as human beings, right? We switch up things the more we learn. So I've got some friends that have really pushed me to get into Claude. I resisted for a little bit, but now I am 100% a card carrying, meaning credit card carrying Claude user. Now, are there other LLMs out there and do I use multiple ones? Yes, I 100% do. In the past 48 hours, I've written up a company proposal using Google LLM with a lot of human edits and then write it through Claude for proof checking, which is one of my other favorite uses, is having different LLMs come at it different ways so that either keep each other in check or I get a perspective or one works differently than the other one. It helps me see things through a different filter. So that's something else I'm a big fan of. But my goal today, I have an agenda here up for you. My goal today is to talk to you, number one, about why I use AI at all. Okay, that's the big one. Why I went to Claude, my approach, what I'm taking on this, the tools I'm connecting it to, and some recommendations as to how you can use this. Now, as always, if you're watching this live or you're watching a recording, drop a comment. I have a comment window here, and I see I do have watchers, so I'm just going to get into it. So I would consider myself a fairly early adopter of AI. And when I say AI, I'm referring strictly to the text-based LLMs. Okay. That's where I have most of my knowledge right now. There are people much smarter than me in the worlds of HeyGen and 11 Labs. So in the worlds of video generation, audio generation, and image generation. Okay. I'm getting there. My skills are coming up every single day, but I'm mainly focused on data extraction, data manipulation, marketing information, marketing optimization, and content creation. Okay. Those are the main things that I use Gemini for, Claude for, Composio for, all these tools. My main goal is to extract information, see how I can improve my clients' marketing, and then push that information back in there. So what you're going to see is a lot of tools I use are right around ad-based information or optimizing marketing information. Eventually, I'm going to be slaying it with 11 Labs. I'm going to be slaying it with HeyGen. But right now, I'm not there. I can't learn everything. I've only got 24 hours in a day, and I've got to sleep at least one of those hours so I don't lose my mind. But I'm mainly using the LLMs for text-based data extraction and data optimization. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Historically, and if you've watched some of my past shows when I talked about AI, I was very much a Gemini person, and I still am a huge Gemini person. I love everything Google because they've just got such a huge infrastructure for this thing. And a lot of the other LLMs don't. So if you notice, a lot of the LLMs that we use or tech tools that we use, we say we don't want to use big tools. We don't want to use Amazon. We don't want to use Google. The challenge is they are the ones with the massive data centers, with the resources. So you oftentimes see other tools just sit on top of Google or an Amazon, if you will. And so someone may claim to be, I love this particular tool. I hate Google, but it's really running on Google's infrastructure. Okay. So I like to skip the middleman. And that's so why initially, when I was getting into AI, I was very much a Google person. Google AI Studio, Google databases, Google Gemini, all that stuff. I was drinking that Kool-Aid. And recently I've learned that there are tools, and Claude is one of them, that are easier to connect and easier to use for data extraction and data optimization. And so there's a good friend of mine, Carrie Taft over at Taft Systems, who recommended that I look into Claude. It was one of those ones I've actually installed a long time ago. I've just never messed with it that much. But over the past probably 30 days, I'm drinking that Kool-Aid, that Claude Kool-Aid more. And again, I'm not saying this is the right one or this is the one that you should use. This is the one that is good for me. This is the one right now that I'm able to be the most productive with. And so this is the one that and it's also probably a little bit technically easier to use than a Gemini. Gemini to me required a few more tech skills that I wanted to invest right now. So I switched over to Claude. Now, what approach am I taking with this? So I am in Claude now. I am a paid user at the $20 a month level, and I am hitting my limits almost daily now. So I'm going to have to upgrade here pretty soon. And if you have any advice as to the upgrade path, other than just going to their enterprise plan at $100 a month, please let me know in the comments. So, what was my goal with Claude? With all LLMs, the first thing I'm doing is trying to figure out what can I access? What can I use? One of the major benefits you'll see me talking about Claude, if you ever see me speaking in public about this, is the fact that it provides a simple, common interface for me to get access to data. So you're going to see here in a minute, I'm going to talk about the tools that we use in our marketing stack to help our clients. And they're the typical things. So the Stripes, the Facebook Ad Manager, the Google Ad Manager, Google Analytics. But if you notice that when you work in marketing like we do, or if you're a company if you have a marketing department and you're working in there, you spend a lot of your time jumping between all of these tools. And that's probably, if I had to give one major benefit of getting into AI and getting into Claude right now, it would be the fact that I can sit in one interface and access my information. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I'm using AI for, what I've connected it to. Okay. I've connected it to our CRM, high level CRM or Playmakers if you're a client of ours. I've connected to a Facebook ad manager for all of our clients. I've connected it to the Google ad managers. I've connected it to the Facebook pages. I've connected it to Stripe. I've connected it to our accounting software, Zero. I've connected it to ClickUp, and I've connected it to Google Analytics. Now, the one thing you'll notice about all of those is all of those end up being different tabs or different open windows on your machine. If I'm sitting here analyzing, let's say last week's ad traffic for a client, we run Google and Facebook ads for a lot of people. And if I want to analyze Facebook ad traffic and see the results of the number of leads that came in, what my cost per lead was, what was the impact on web traffic, what conversions did we have? As in the world of marketing, that data is all over the place. And so probably one of the major uses I am using Claude for and that I absolutely love is the fact that I can sit in one window, i.e. the Claude desktop window. I'm a Mac Claude user, by the way. Hopefully some of this stuff applies to you Windows Claude users. I can sit in a single window and pull information from all of these places and never leave. Not only that, I can pull the information in the way I want, and that's the one I really love. When you hop into any of these tools like Facebook Ad Manager or Google Analytics or any marketing tool, you are beholden to their interface. Every time I go into Google Analytics, I have to do 3 or 4 clicks to get down to the information I want. Every time I'm pulling up Facebook ad stats for a client or for ourselves, I have to do 3 or 4 clicks to get to the I want. And same with the high level CRM, same with Stripe. It's just all over the place. But what I can do now is I can build skills and chats and things in these LLMs, specifically Claude, to not only let me pull the data from these places in one place, but also let me pull it in the format I want. And that probably to me right there is the biggest hidden bonus that we see is I can query Google Analytics now and say, show me conversions for this date range and connect that. And at the same time, show me the Facebook ad traffic for that date range. And at the same time, show me the contacts inside of high level that match that data that came from Facebook ads and that came from Google Analytics. I can sit in one place and do that. And I can do it in a common format, meaning I can script, or called building a skill. I can do it in a certain way so the data is pulled the same way every single time. And that to me is just huge, huge. You noticed here I listed several things that we are connected to when it comes to here. Let me know if you have any other tools when it comes to marketing or analytics that I should be using that I'm not. I'm a sponge right now when it comes to these tools, so I'm learning everything. One of the big things I did learn is that connecting to all of these tools is very much a challenge. If I wanted to connect to my Facebook ad account and Google ad account and Pages and Stripe and Zero, I would have to do separate connections inside of Claude for all of those. And the connections can be very easy. There are times you can go into Claude, you can say, I want to connect to Facebook to get my data, or I want to connect to Stripe, and Claude will gladly oblige. Most of the time, though, Claude has no idea how to connect to these other tools that you want to pull data out of. So you have to get fancy. You either have to get really good with MCPs. If you don't know what those are, ask me in the comments and I'll tell you what they are. It's MCP is a fancy word for a common way to pull data from multiple services. But those of you who have always heard MCP and wonder what it is, I've tried to explain it because I tend to be pretty good at explaining techie things in a non-techie way. RL Creative. Who are you, RL Creative? With this smiley face. One of the things you have a challenge with over my decades of IT experience is when I want data out of different systems, I either have to get really good at their API or I have to get really good at exporting and importing CSVs. It's just different for every single thing. The interface to manage my Stripe account is different than the interface to manage my ClickUp account, which is different the information to manage my accounting software. What an MCP is, and I believe it's MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, is, hey, Rebecca Louise, good to hear from you. Where are you tuned in from? I don't recognize RL Creative. Rebecca Louise, I think might be your first time watching. What an MCP is, is a common interface for us to pull data. So if Facebook gives us an MCP and ClickUp gives us an MCP, and let's say another one of my tools, Xero, my accounting software gives me an MCP, my AI knows how to talk to all of them instantly. Instantly. As soon as you go into an AI tool like Claude and you say, this other tool has an MCP, Claude's sister, I got you. Ain't no thing, I got you. And again, in my decades of IT experience, that has not been the case. Connecting to every single tool has been a pain in the arse. Okay, it is not fun. Learning API calls, learning the structure of API calls, learning all the information you have to pass to an API call and what's going to come back. Hey, first time catching you live, I sat with you at the Encore Day at the last, at the table where when we learned about Relay Bank and things like that. Is that one? Is that the one we're thinking of? Yes. I think I'm picking it up now. Tuning in from Indiana. That's awesome. So yeah, an MCP is just a common way to get data. So if there's ever a term in the world of AI and you want to know what it is, please feel free to DM me or text us or message us on social media. And the MCP is just a common way to get that data. So don't ever be afraid if you're working with AI and it says, oh, I have to connect to an MCP or want you to connect to an MCP. I promise it's really easy. And once you get it connected, things are going to run just fine. I think my biggest thing I'm also enjoying about using Claude is the fact that I'm connecting it to my project management software and it's putting my ideas in there. To be more productive, you have to realize you have to get all of your information in one place in this world. And ClickUp is our home. ClickUp is our home. For you, it may be Asana. For you, it may be Monday. For you, it may be Google Tasks. I don't know. For you, it may be the Reminders app on your iPhone. You'd have to get all that data in one place. So what I'm doing with a lot of this data I'm pulling in is if there's more work for me to do, I don't want to keep it in Claude. I'm pushing it over to ClickUp, our project software. So that's what I'm using a lot of it for. One tool that I have discovered probably out of all the tools so far that I really love is a tool called Composio. And I've talked about this on my Facebook wall. If you go to my Facebook wall for Patrick Alman, you'll see I've been posting daily AI tips. And I've been getting a lot of DMs thanking or inquiry for more information, or 100% people that might want to become clients. And one of my biggest, more popular posts, hey, Rebecca, you're an Asana lady, huh? That's awesome. One of my biggest things I think I found so far as a benefit to connect my Claude to Think Patrick, the coffee's not strong enough yet, is a tool called Composio. And I believe their website is composio.dev. I have no financial or stock interest in them at all. But what I've noticed is even though all of every marketing tool, every analytic tool is making it easy to connect to. It's still a little bit of work. And so Composio, to me, Composio is like this middleware that I connect Claude to Composio, and the Composio, I think, has access to 500 different tools. And I can just go into Claude and I can say, Claude, connect to Facebook ads via Composio, or Claude, connect to Chart Mogul via Composio, or Claude, connect to Google ads via Composio. So it's composio.dev is the tool I use. And that some of these tools I connect directly to, some of them I use in middleware. And for Composio, I'm using it as a middleware to get to all these other tools. Now, there are other tools out there like Composio. Again, I try to be fairly tool agnostic, but I like to share with you also what I know is working. And one of the cool things is a couple of tools I'm going to talk about here. And oh man, look at that. That half hour went really fast. This is going to be another live stream, I can tell you, probably next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. But goodness gracious, where was I going with that? Oh, the reason I chose Composio is because I researched several other tools, several other middleware tools like this, and feature for feature, Composio came out on top, and Composio has a free level. That's always something I like, because I have no problem paying with tools. You'll never see me going into a Facebook group, and you guys know who they are. You'll never see me going into a Facebook group or on my profile and saying, hey, I want to use this for free. Anyone got a coupon code? What I like are free trials or a free tier that I can then progress into a paid tier. And that was another reason I chose Composio is number one, the number of tools it connects to, but also the fact that I think I get either 10 or 25,000 free credits is what it says there. So while I'm a heavy Composio user, I actually haven't paid for it yet. I haven't given them my credit card information yet. So if you're someone who wants to pull data from lots of different places, please take a look at Composio. If anything came out of this live stream today, it would be if you want to connect Claude to more tools, Composio is the one. Of course, do your due diligence, do your research, check other tools. Composio is the must-have. Okay, and I had a list here of running down of things I wanted to talk about what we're doing, and I don't have a lot of time for that, and it's early in the morning for everybody, and I want to get you on your way to work. So really quick, what we're doing, excuse me. Oh, Oklahoma, spring, congestion. Anybody down with that? Anybody an allergy person like me? I can't even breathe through my nose right now. Allergies just kill me. It's going to be worse this weekend when I'm outside a lot. Okay, specifically, what are we using Claude Desktop and Composio, things like that for? I told you earlier, consolidating marketing data in a common format for my clients. One of the first things, I didn't listen here, is Slack. We're not a big Slack user, but we have clients that have Slack. And so something else, one of the other things I've connected to, I didn't even put it in my notes here, is we connected to Slack a lot. Because what we're doing also as we pull in this marketing information is we're dumping it over in a dedicated Slack channel for our clients. So I have skills I built in Claude now that says, let's say, pull this data, format a report this way, compare it to this historical data, and then put that over in a Slack channel. And so what that means is as I progress through this is I'm scheduling these skills. So what I really want, we're getting there, we're doing this a little bit right now, is I want to be able to pull my consolidated reports and put them in a Slack channel for a client just after midnight on a Sunday. Now, there are plenty of marketing tools that do this. I'm a big fan of agency analytics and other tools like that. And those tools aren't going anywhere. But what I'm really loving about this is the fact that I can customize the format of it and I can put it someplace where they already are in a Slack channel, right? In a Slack channel, in a ClickUp channel. If you're a ClickUp person, by the way, yes, Claude can send ClickUp messages. Same with Slack as it can communicate. So if you've got a tool like a common chat tool for your company, more than likely Claude can push data into it. So I like extracting data, pulling reports, formatting it, and then putting it in a company Slack channel or putting it inside of a ClickUp DM channel. So consolidating marketing data is our big one there as we wrap up the show here. Ad management. This is something that we've also gotten deep into this past week. There are tools, I don't have time to talk about them right now. AdKit's one of them. There are tools out there. Actually, what are the two that I really like? The two that I really like are AdKit and what was the other one? AdKit and Center, SYNTER. AdKit and Center are the two tools that I've narrowed it down to that I'm going to be using to not only pull ad performance, but generate new ads, stop poor performing ads, and have it manage real time 24/7 is my goal. Having it manage ads for us, tweaking performance, looking at performance over an 8-hour period, saying this is working, this isn't working, stop this ad set, start this ad set, things like that. That's 100% my goal with my AI agents is to have it chewing on my ad stuff. A big one that all of us in marketing are using it for is social media content. If you follow me over on Instagram, then you'll see that I already put out a carousel this morning. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, get over there right now and follow me. It's just Patrick Alman over there. But what I'm doing it for, and I get this is the one where I get a lot of questions on social media content generation, is right now as I'm generating the data, I am looking it over and I'm approving it and tweaking it, and then I'm having Claude schedule it for me. So I've got big one of the things I said that I was doing, I can't remember where it was, is that I'm having Claude keep my Facebook pages alive, more alive than they were before. And people are like, "Are you just generating content, pushing crap out there?" Am I auto-generating content? Yes. Am I pushing it out there? No. Automatically, no. What I'm doing is I built a skill that has my thoughts, my themes, the things I wanna teach people, and I'm using it to come up with ideas. Claude presents me the ideas, and I'm saying, "This is a good idea. This is a bad idea. Reword it this way. Mix in this." So there's an approval layer there that I am using before I am posting things. And for those of you asking, especially my high-level friends, this stuff is 100% being scheduled to the high-level CRM. So I've got a skill that helps me generate an hourly post over on Facebook, and I review those. If those are good, I then have my Claude going into the high-level CRM, and inside the high-level CRM planner is where it's scheduling all those, okay? I am not a fan of having Claude being alive 24/7 to do things for me because that means that I'm using my laptop as a server. And I've discovered this, and I noticed that a friend of mine, an online friend of mine, Michael Hyatt, who a lot of you are familiar with, I saw him posting online recently that his laptop's getting bogged down running scheduled tasks because that guy is a beast when it comes to his AI, and he is running things 24/7. But he, and me to a point, and a lot of you using Claude, you're using your laptop as a server. So something else I'm going to be getting better at as I progress in my AI journey is developing all these cool things on my laptop, verifying that they run, verifying they work, but then finding a way to run them not on my laptop. I know it's 100% possible. I've recently learned that in beta, Claude has something called managed agents. And I think I'm gonna be going that route also, but I wanna be able to do all the cool stuff that we're doing in Claude right now, but having it run 24/7, even if I'm on an airplane, if I'm driving across the country with my laptop off, okay? Claude's made it very easy to do it when your laptop is on, you're sitting in front of it, but not so much when your laptop is off. So I'll talk later, a little bit later more about the content creation, but yeah, I can have Claude very easily create text posts, image posts for social media, Instagram carousels. I've always loved those, and now it's very easy for Claude to create those for me. And the last thing, I just slipped this in that I used it for a couple of days ago. I used Claude a couple of days ago, is I was working on I think a 15-page proposal for a client. And there's always a chance I could make a spelling or a grammatical error. My spelling is pretty good. My grammar is decent, but I ran this contract through Claude, and Claude section by section pointed out places where my voice was passive, where I had inconsistent noun verb usage, where I was ambiguous, where I was using tech talk or, "Hey, Karen, I always love to see your face." And goodness gracious, Karen, it's freaking 5:30 in the morning there, lady. Goodness gracious, it's early for you. But there are just times where my grammar or spelling, I can slip up. And when I'm putting out client work, either when I'm putting it out for the client or when I'm presenting like proposals to clients, professionalism is at the absolute top tier of importance. And so the other day, I used AI to help me generate content for a proposal. I put the proposal together myself. I wordsmithed everything myself. Again, I'm really much a fan right now of using AI to generate something and then having a human edit it, proof it, and then the human generates hey, goodness gracious. Shouldn't you be in Stillwater, Anya? Shouldn't you be in Stillwater by now? Oh, goodness gracious, Karen, you've been up already an hour and a half. But and so I was using Claude. My last major usage of Claude this past weekend was using Claude as a Grammarly, and that thing was brutal, and I love that. I love it when an AI points out my mistakes or my errors or places where I could be doing things a little bit better, if you will. So as always, I would love to hear, excuse me. Ooh, my allergies are kicking in. I would love to hear how you're using Claude. I would love to hear the tools or the bolt-ons or the middlewares that you're using. And just share those in the comments because again, right now we are a sponge. I'm going to get very good at this. Someday you're going to see me on a stage keynoting about AI, but right now it's just sponge and absorbing thing. I always aim for half an hour for this. Let me know if you prefer this time versus a later time. Remember, I did this at 7 Central now. Before I was doing these at 9 a.m. Central. I think 7 works out better for the early risers, especially the Karens of the world that are really up early California time. But let me know if this works better for you, like a pre-work live stream versus at work live stream. Just please let me know, and I can always adjust the time. But want to hear about your AI comments. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you mobile web apps. Ooh, Manus. I hear Manus is a good one too. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Yeah, next week, 7 a.m. Central.